Oh, you gonna turn the lights on? All right, one more time. Yeah. It's doing the same. I'm gonna need to click.
It gave me a
Slide change error.
error like
Yeah.
3 times, so I had to switch to the clicker.
Okay. Good morning, everybody. Thank you so much. I really appreciate that. You know, I'm a person too, not just a pastor who's saying good morning because they got to say good morning. You know, I like good mornings back. Anyway, this week's announcements. Let's jump into it. Oh, we switch back to the proclaim.
Yep.
Thank you.
Because I got to switch.
Yeah. Okay. Free books over there. I guess it only works when Jenny does it. There is a library to your left, right around this corner. All the books are free. I am a massive believer in giving people the resources. We don't do a great job of that in church, and so I want to do a great job of that. So tons of books over there. Feel free, look through them, take some, read them, don't read them. That's between you and Jesus. My part is to make sure that it's free books over there. Cool. Giving. Thank you again to everyone that has been giving. We had a board meeting last week, and we established that we would like to have $12,000 in the bank. That would be about 3 months worth of things that we pay for monthly, to include rent, the stipend that Jenny and I get, Proclaim, all the stuff, all the subscriptions. And so this week we are officially at $6,500. So your boy being on probation is working. Who would have thought? If you took the card out of my hands and I'm not spending money, then we have it. Crazy idea. So, again, thank you to all who have been giving. If you would like to give, we do have a Venmo, Oasis Cotway. There's a big brown box at the front of the building, or the, what's it face, near the coffee, the lobby. We call that lobby? Can I call it a vestibule? Can I? No? Yeah. Sure. Courtney said no. Okay, 2 ladies said no, so like that's a sure don't do it that. Don't do it. Cool. All right. Every guy was like, oh, vestibule, nice. Ladies are like, don't do that. So, okay, cool. At the front, big brown box. And then Church Center app. You can download that on your phone. You can give to your liking. When you want to, you can give. You can set it up for whatever frequency you want, all that stuff. But yeah, that is all between you and Jesus. But thank you to those who are consistently giving. We really, really, really appreciate it. So the circus is coming to town, and the other day in the mail, we got 40 buy one adult ticket, a child gets in free tickets. 40 of them. I was like, dang, why would they send so many? I don't know, they did. They sent us a bunch. So I was like, well, might as well let everybody know. So if you want to take your kids to the circus, you do have to pay for an adult for every child. That is free. The other side of that, it is Valentine's Day. So tread carefully, fellas.
Don't take this road to the fair.
So I'm just saying. I mean, if I didn't mention it, then I would feel bad. But it is 40 tickets. But also, it is on Valentine's Day. So do with that as you will, between you, Jesus, and your spouse. Don't tell the kids nothing. What they don't know will not hurt them. Cool. On to the next. Volunteers. We have our calendar up over here to your left. Tons of things for us to collectively come together and help out with. One of them is the clicker. The person who clicks the slides during the music, you get this magic pen. You can just click the slides. If you want, you can underline the words as we sing with the laser pointer. That's between you and Jesus. But yeah, clicker. What's next? Children's church. There is a very specific thing regarding children's church. There are a total of 14 people who have signed up in the past. Moving forward, we want everyone to know that if you sign up to help with children's, you are not the lead teacher. You are going up there to help someone else who is the lead teacher. So you don't have to be afraid to sign up because you're like, I don't know what to do when I get there. Somebody else is already going to know what to do when you get there. So the plan is for us to have 4 lead teachers and then everybody else, as of now it's 14, to just rotate, as bodies are available. And so if we have 4 lead teachers, then the teachers are only teaching once a month. And with 14 right now, people to sign up, you only have to do kids once every 3 months. And as we all know, everybody usually hides from doing stuff in church because I don't want to get burnt out. They're always going to ask me. But if everybody does a little bit, then a lot of work gets done. So, yes. If you are already signed up for kids or have already signed up for kids, please get your blackout dates that you cannot help with children's. Get those to Danielle or Jenny, and there will be a text that is sent out this week to remind you. But get those dates to them because they're just going to start signing people up straight up because you've already done it. So if we can just keep that ball rolling, then the ball is rolling. You don't have to stop the ball or get it rolling because it's rolling. So that is the deal on children's. Cool.
The Lord's Prayer.
And we start the Lord's Prayer next week, which is super tight. Really excited for that. Greet team. Somebody standing at the front before service or not outside. Please don't think that you got to stand outside in the cold welcoming people to church. You can stand in the vestibule. You can stand in the vestibule and open doors. We set out the coffee creamer. And just hang out as people come in, giving high fives. And all that good stuff. So greet team, very simple. If you would like to sign up for, I think that's it. Any of those things, the calendar is right there to the left. Now, I recently, on a personal level, am doing some stuff with my social media. And because of that, I was like, dang, I can actually get a party going on the Oasis Instagram page. So officially, Instagram stories for Oasis are straight fire. Officially now, and if you want to be added to our close friends, send us a green circle because the close friends on Oasis Instagram is going to be all the reels and memes that I wish I could share on a Sunday morning in the close friends. So find us on Instagram. It's a party over there. It's really good stuff. It's like the ones where people are cussing in church during their testimony, stuff like that, Pastors going off, that stuff. Yeah. So if you want to join our close friends, send us a green circle on Instagram and we'll get you hooked up. Next, Oasis Vision. And I'm going to do this real quick because I do have to preach a whole sermon. About 3-4 years ago, we had just started Oasis and I had read Circle Maker. And it just lit a fire inside my whole body. And so as I was reading that book, driving to work, Jenny and I live over on Fairway Terrace. And so going to work on base, I drive down Yano every day, back and forth. And there's that massive piece of land at Yano and Thornton. So if you're heading to base, it's on the left side. And then if you're coming back into town, it's on the right side next to Berry Elementary. Long story short, God gave me this massive vision. I just saw the whole thing. Our church was there, but it didn't look like a church still. But there's a park in this vision. There's a Chick-fil-A there. There's a movie theater. It's like a legitimate like compound called the Oasis, where we as a church own the land for the sake of legitimately taking back the city. And so all of these businesses, there's a gym, like a gymnasium, where people can, come play basketball and volleyball and like, I don't know if y'all know, but like the kids basketball this year did not happen in Clovis because of people just not agreeing to come together and have basketball for kids. Like we would facilitate that, and it would be all out of our church. So like people couldn't come and tear it apart because like you need people in a community, you know? But managers of these restaurants are from the church, and they're just in real time living life with people. And so more than like we go as a church to an event and hand out Bibles or tracts, which is great. I am not saying that those are bad things. But people need real life community in real time, all the time. And so could you imagine showing up to work and your boss is like not a stuffy Christian, but just a normal Christian person who like loves to watch Dave Chappelle and listen to rap music, and they're like, yeah, I know, life is hard, man, it's cool. You don't have to show up to work today, and that's fine. Like, could you imagine just what we could do for the community in just turning all the things that are normal on its head, how Jesus intended for us to do anyway. But yeah, that is the quick piece of it. But it is a massive, massive vision. Even being here in this building, there are a lot of things that we want to make permanent while we are here. So for example, we want to have a legit camera and sound system so that when people do give feedback during the sermons, those who are watching on YouTube can listen. So we want to have like microphones at the tables. I know, don't freak out. But we want to have microphones at the table so then everybody who is not here can still be part of the discussion. Yeah, we want to get to a point at some point where live music is not just a thing, but it is done well and we can hear each other without clouding more sound into the room because it already echoes. And if you put a monitor here, it's just going to make it worse. But like there are things we really want to do. And those are the things that I tend to hang on to for myself because it's like heavy, it's like big. And I'm like, man, I don't want to put that on like the people. But Fathom keeps saying, share the vision, because then people know what they are giving to. People know why they are giving. It's not just so we can pay rent. It's not just so we can pay Rafer and Jenny stipend. It's not just for subscriptions. But like we are legitimately giving to something that we want to see outlast all of us. Like, could you imagine in 20 years from now, all of us are like, yeah, like we become the people who are like, we remember when Thornton and Yano was just an empty field. Like, could you imagine that? And like us doing these things now and giving towards whatever this could be would be huge. Would be huge. So that's a nutshell version. If you want to talk more about it, I will talk your ear off about it. But like I said, I got a whole sermon to give. So, and the AFC or NFC championship starts at 1 o'clock. So, all right, cool. That's that. Lastly, again, if you are not receiving text messages from Oasis, please text the word T to 575-222-8985 so you can get plugged in and we can get you all the info. For example, today we sent out the link. So I was like, everybody was letting us know, Jenny and I know, that they weren't going to be here because they were sick. So when I sent the text, I was like, yo, y'all better be in this live in the comments because a bunch of y'all are not going to be here today. So they are.
They really are.
They're in the comments. Like, comment section is going off today. I'm really excited about it. So, any questions before we jump into this sermon? Cool. Let's do it. The Forever Journey. Today is part 3. I'm super pumped. Super pumped about this week. This sermon series came to me when I was not in the place that I am now to preach this was not where I was when I received it. And what I thought I was going to preach when I was in a bad place is a completely different place today. And I am very thankful for Jesus, or to Jesus, for continuing to do all the things that he does in spite of us being crazy people. So, let's get into it. Oh, will you click back?
Yeah, I was just making sure I was working right.
Good look, good look, good look. Okay, recap. Sanctification. That is what this sermon series is about. Sanctification is the process of becoming or being made into someone who is set apart as sacred for God's purposes. And God's purpose is for us to love him and to love others so that they love him too. That is the whole point of this. Build My Life literally says it. Open up my eyes in wonder. Show me. Oh, wrong part. It's a part where it's like, show me your love so I can love others. Oh, to those around me. That part. That's the whole thing. That's the whole thing. I, as a person, as I am in this relationship with Jesus, I am being made into someone who is set apart for the sacred purpose of being loved by God, loving myself, and loving other people. So those other people will go, dang, the Father is really who he says he is. That's tight. That's the whole thing. Welcome to Christianity 101. Sanctification is just the process of that. And so we learned last week that I access this process. I start this process by having prayer time or building or having communication with the Father. I have to talk to him. Just like every relationship that I have, I only have a relationship with someone as much as I talk to them. That makes sense? I cannot know that you are a good person if I never have a conversation with you. Now, for ladies and men, the amount of words is a different story, but it is still the same. We have to connect somewhere. And so when it comes to the Father, prayer is literally just building rapport with the Father through deliberate communication. I have to do this on purpose. It's not something that's just going to pop up one day and God's like, yeah, man, we're best friends now. And you're like, what? No. I have to be in communication with him. So we looked at the Lord's Prayer and how the Lord's Prayer builds my trust in the Father and changes me. That's really good. It is a way for me to learn how to trust him. It's the biggest way that I am changed. It's the main way that I become holy like the Father is holy. You look at everything in that prayer, nothing about that prayer is about me and what I actually want. Even down to the daily bread is a part that says, help me, like give me the things I need to help your kingdom come here on earth. All the love, the peace, the joy, the good time that is in heaven, I want that to come to earth through me. So help me, give me the things I need today for the people I'm going to talk to today so they can see you. That's pretty tight. Prayer changes me every single time. Prayer changes me. So today we are going to talk about taking up your cross, picking your cross up and following Jesus. Before we go into this, what do y'all think about when you hear take up your cross and follow me? Does it freak you out? Is it heavy? It's like, ugh, that's a lot, you know? It is a lot. And the way we teach it makes it worse, you know? It's like we get it, because we're like, you know, okay, yeah, take up your cross, be like Jesus, follow him, cool. But the way it is taught and conveyed is not the invitation that Jesus is offering as much as a very stern rule that we have to like stick to make this worth Jesus's while. And we're going to unwrap all that and rebuild a new foundation. So the first place we find this is in Matthew chapter 10. Jesus is speaking. He says, "Do not think that I have come to bring peace to the earth. I have not come to bring peace, but a sword. For I have come to set a man against his father, and a daughter against her mother, and a daughter-in-law against her mother-in-law, and a person's enemies will be those of his own household. Whoever loves father or mother more than me is not worthy of me, and whoever loves son or daughter more than me is not worthy of me. And whoever does not take his cross and follow me is not worthy of me. Whoever finds his life will lose it, and whoever loses his life for my sake will find it." That is what the next slide says. Yeesh. So here's the deal. Honest moment here. I sit down and I'm like, yeah. I know exactly what we're going to talk about. Jesus, take up your cross. Cool. Let me find it. So I look up cross in my back of my Bible and it's like, it's here. I was like, cool. I go to Matthew 10. I read this and I was like, oh, this is not the version that I want to teach. Because this is a top rope Jesus moment. It's a lot. But because it's the first time that it is mentioned in the Gospels, I have to point to it. We will come back and get a whole context picture of it. But where we're going to teach from today is actually Matthew chapter 16, the next time he speaks of it. So it says, "Then Jesus told his disciples, 'If anyone would come after me, let him deny himself and take up his cross and follow me. For whoever would save his life will lose it, but whoever loses his life for my sake will find it. For what will it profit a man if he gains the whole world and forfeits his soul? Or what shall a man give in return for his soul? For the Son of Man is going to come with his angels in the glory of his Father, and then he will repay each person according to what he has done. Truly I say to you, there are some standing here who will not taste death until they see the Son of Man coming in his kingdom.'" Okay, little better, not much. Still heavy, still a lot, but we're going to get into all of it and break all of this down. So, take up your cross is quoted 5 times in the gospel, all right here. In different contexts, Matthew 10, he says, take up your cross. It is in the context of hate your family. We're going to unpack it. I know, it's a lot. You're like, dang, I love my kids. I mean, yes, I would leave them with somebody else for a month and a half, but like, hate them, for sure. They can go somewhere else for 3 years. It'll be fine. But hate them, So in the context of hate your family is where it's first said. Everywhere else, the story is the same, except Luke chapter 14, verses 27 through 33. And that is where Jesus talks about counting the cost. Who of you starts to build a building without counting the cost to build said building? You don't just start and then you're like, oh, we ran out of money. And now you got like 3 of 8 floors and there's no roof. And you're just like, yeah, I ran out of money. No, he says, count the cost of this. If you are going to follow me, you have to make sure you are ready to do the things that this requires. That makes sense? So, let's turn, if you have your Bible with you, to Luke 14. Yeesh, this is really good. Because in the Keyword Study Bible, there's a very great key here at the bottom that gives us context for hating our families. So at the bottom of page 1203, there's a key, and it says, in light of Matthew 10:37, the word hate should be understood as loving one's relatives less than the Lord. The phrase, who does not renounce, in verse 33, refers not to the total abandonment of one's belongings, but to the proper prioritization of them. The Greek word is apotasete, the middle voice of apotasso, from apo, from, and tasso, to properly arrange. It signifies that believers who are worthy of Christ know how to properly arrange their lives so that Christ is given preeminence. That's really good. So it says here that this is not, again, about throwing everything in the trash. It is simply about becoming people who know how to properly arrange our lives so that Jesus is given the best of all that we are. We shrink it down as Christians and we say Jesus should be the number one priority, right? He should be the first thing. God is number one overall. Put him on the throne of your heart. Yes, please put him on the throne of your heart, but also know and understand that if the throne is at the top, then like the light is shining over everything else in your life. It's not a list of priorities. It's not like an all-star ranking and God is number one and then Jenny is number two. No, it is God is it for me and everything else is on the same line that he helps me do because I give everything to him first. That makes sense? Yeah, we're tracking? Cool. Okay. So let's look at some of these words to get a better understanding of this scripture. It's my favorite thing to break down words. So Jesus says, to deny yourself, take up your cross and follow me. This word deny is to disown and renounce self, to disregard all personal interests and enjoyments. I know, yeesh, that's heavy. It's like all personal enjoyments? Dang. But again, this is a proper arrangement situation. This does not mean throw away your television because you like to watch TV. What it is saying is you should not love watching TV more than you love Jesus, or to the detriment of your relationship with Jesus, right? So we've all been there in the moments where we go and we turn on our streaming service and it won't start. And we're like, oh, what do we say? Oh, Jesus want me to pray instead. Oh, he not letting Hulu work. He want me to read instead. I should. Do we read? No, we go do something else. We're just like, I'll come back. I'll circle back and see. But it is just proper arrangement of the other things in my life. That makes sense? Further, the denial, and this is where it gets real, the denial of what I feel in regards to people. That makes sense? The denial of my feelings in regards to people when it is not from love, like the Father would want me to look at them. So the moment that I say, you wronged me and you deserve to be wronged back like I was wronged. That is the part that we are to deny. Now, we are going to be wronged. We are going to feel a certain way about being wronged, right? How I process the wrong and my feelings is okay. The moment that I need somebody else to feel what I felt because I am now not operating in love, and those are the things that I need to deny. Because realistically, I love it. I love a little drama. I love a little anger. I love a little tit for tat. When I say I mean we. You know, we like to fight a little bit. We Christians, we're not going to be like, yeah, I love fighting, you know. Just a little bit. It's good every now and then. Get the juices flowing. But that is the part I need to deny. That's the part where I'm just like, oh, well, you deserve, because that's not my spot. So this denial, that is what it is. I enjoy a little drama, and so I should probably deny real life drama that I want, because that's not what the Father wants for me. That makes sense? Taking up your cross. To take up and bear, or to carry. We all know this part. It makes sense. I'm going to carry my cross. The problem is we don't like the things that we are supposed to carry. Yeesh. We just don't like the things that we are supposed to carry. Those things being, I know you guys are like, wait, where's the better part? I don't like, this just keeps getting heavier and heavier and heavier. I promise. There's light at the end of the tunnel. It's literally Jesus. The cross is to undergo suffering, trial, punishment, to expose oneself to disapproval and death. So, I am denying what I think you deserve because I want to be like the Father. So I may have to undergo a little punishment, it feels like to me, a little trial, because I don't think it's fair, right? But this is the cross that I am supposed to carry, the exposing of myself to disapproval. What people are going to think, how is it going to be? Because I'm just going to operate from love. And sometimes that's love for me. So I have to set boundaries. Anybody who has ever set a boundary, what's the first thing that people do when you set a boundary? Disapproval. And so if I know that I am loving myself like the Father would want me to love, then I need to deny validation or the need for validation from other people. That makes sense? I need to deny what are they going to say? What are they going to think? I have to deny that and take up exposing myself to disapproval. That's crazy. Because we just think taking our cross is like, okay, cool. Again, it's the Christian thing. I'm not going to kill nobody. I'm not a murderer, so I'm good. It's like, that's not the only bad thing that we could do as human beings. Well, guess what? I didn't drink or smoke either. Okay, but also you were rude to the 17-year-old at Albertsons. And they didn't even do nothing. You didn't get enough sleep. What is happening here? Well, that's different. No, it's not. Get at it. Go take your actual cross up, please. But I have to deny the things that I think my life should be in line with the Father. If it is love for Him, it is love. If it is love for myself, if it is love for other people, those are the options. The moment I am worried about what others are going to think, the only peace I have with others is to love them. If I am now seeking validation from others, I'm on the wrong ticker. Validation comes from the Father. And He shows me how to validate myself because He validates me. So I only get it from Him. I have to deny the things and carry this cross of suffering. That makes sense? All right, cool. Jesus then says, follow me. Take up your cross and follow me. And this is where it gets so good. To be or become the disciple of Jesus as to faith and practice. To follow the teachings of Jesus, to be in the same way with, to accompany. Yeesh. To come alongside. I am accompanying Jesus because he also has a cross that he is carrying. And I am following, walking with him. We're going to talk about this in a bit. But I am accompanying him. I am walking with Jesus in my cross carrying. That's the last point. I really want to go into the last point, but I got some other points. So let's go. So in trying to be like Jesus, in walking with Jesus, I have to remember sanctification is the process of becoming someone who is set apart as holy for the purpose of loving God and loving others so they can love him. This is the part that we forget. We take the scripture and we leave this part on the side. So then when we look at taking up my cross, I only see that I got to give something up or I got to lose out on something. I can't do that thing anymore because we forget that I am becoming somebody who is set apart for the purpose of loving God and loving other people, right? So now if I look at it from a place of, oh, I am becoming something, it doesn't seem random now for me to take up a cross and let go of the things that are not from the Father. That makes sense now. Oh, yeah, I can do that. Well, you didn't say that in the beginning. Well, yeah, we don't say it enough. So from this position, we preachers, pastors, teachers, we assume that everybody walks in and has a very great handle on what sanctification is. So then I can just show up and say, hey, take up your cross. Follow Jesus. Deny yourself. Y'all be blessed. And what do? We walk away. Man, today he stepped on my toes. Ooh, I was convicted. Like every single week. Yeesh. Do you ever have any hope? Because like that's what Jesus brought me. Is there any joy in this relationship? Is it only like let me show up and get my whooping real quick? I will build my life upon your love. Okay, now beating. Let's go. I'm ready. No, there is hope in everything that Jesus says. Because this is the process, because this is what we are trying to do, we should look at this from a place of the relationship that I have and the person I am becoming. This is easy because I really love Jesus and he really loves me. And I really want every single person that I come in contact with to feel the same thing I feel. I want every single person that I come into contact with to feel how Jesus makes me feel. That's crazy. I had a conversation earlier this week, and then I saw it on Instagram. And it was Judah Smith. He said, we give rules to people so that we can produce a desired result. And Judah Smith said, we actually did a survey and we asked people, would you rather have a pastor who teaches you the word or just gives you rules? And more people, the majority chose the rules. And he said the thing about the rules are, we think we are in control because we can follow the rule. Okay, cool, 1 + 1 is 2, I can do that. And that's what we've known in church. We show up, we help with kids, we do the greeter, we click the slides, we do the announcements. We never take a vacation because the church needs me. It's a whole thing. I'm burnt out, but I can't tell nobody. Yes, I love Dave Chappelle, but I can't tell nobody that because we Christians and I can't put anything bad in my mind because if I do, then Satan is just going to take over my whole life. And then I'm showing up to small group. Everybody's like, how are you? And I'm like, I'm great. But I'm having a really hard time in my marriage. And I'm just taking up my cross and suffering. But none of that says that I actually love the Father and accept the love he has for me so I can actually love me and therefore go love somebody else.
It's so much easier to have the rules so I can tell everybody else, yeah. I didn't murder nobody. I'm a really good Christian. I kill nobody. Nobody. I don't kill nobody. I don't smoke. I don't drink. And I don't watch porn. Look at me. I'm doing it. I'm killing the whole Christian game. But you can't even pray to Jesus earnestly because you're scared. What is he going to say? What is he going to think? I can't even be honest with my accountability partner because I'm afraid of what they're going to think. And they on the other side. My accountability partner can't be accountable because they're not accountable to Jesus. It's the whole thing. But we feel like we're in control when there are rules. And that's why this scripture in particular is easy for a pastor to stand up here with his life dirty as all get out, to point out to everybody else and say, yeah, you take up your cross. You follow Jesus. You deny yourself. And the person who is already burnt out is like, I don't know how much more I can deny. But we only see it in the context of this. We don't see it in the context of I'm prepping this sermon and I got to have a conversation with my wife later because we are in the middle of a disagreement. Yeesh. I'm writing notes and I'm hearing from Jesus and I'm like, oh, Jesus, so I got to deny my self-righteousness here. Because now that I got to deny my self-righteousness, now you got to show me how to actually speak to her so I can actually say what it is I do feel, but it pulls us to reconciliation and not makes her feel like crap. You got to do something, Jesus, because if I'm gonna expose myself to disapproval, you better make it worth my while. And I'm not in control of that. It's way harder. It's way harder when I'm not in control of what she's going to say back to me. It's really easy to come and do the things because the rules. But even this is not a rule. That's just how we teach it. Taking up your cross and following Jesus, to be like him, to do it. And Jesus, though, is offering us an opportunity to live like he lived. He's not forcing an issue. He's just offering a chance to walk with him. We forget that part. The follow me. We're walking with Jesus. So literally, Jesus wanted only what the Father wants. Jesus said it 27 times. I'm here to do what the Father tells me, what he shows me, and that's about it. Yeah, let's go flip these tables. Dang. Jesus, let me flip some tables. He's like, nah, just hug your daughter while she's screaming. Okay, fine. I just be treated bad by my 3-year-old. No bigs. I really want to flip the tables though. Jesus only wanted what the Father wants, and that is love for everybody in its purest, life-giving form. This is the heart of the Father. If you want to say that all the things that this is the desired result, then okay, sure. But none of the things are rules. Even the 10 commandments, and we unpacked this all last year with Holier Than Thou. The first commandment, to love the Father and have no other gods before him, wasn't a rule to shut everything down. No, it was, I know for a fact, nothing else will satisfy you. So because your brain operates this way, you need something to work towards, cool. Don't put nothing else in front of me because I'm it. I'm the best you got. I'm the best you're going to ever have. But we as human beings, we take that and what we do, we flip it and we make people feel bad when they don't do that. But if you actually teach God's intent, he just wants a relationship and nothing else is going to satisfy. That's a lot more appealing. That's a lot more appealing than what we teach people. And so literally, if this were a rule that we could control, there would have been no reason for Jesus to say it. Like all of us could make ourselves holy if it was like in our control. We would just make ourselves holy. So then I would just be like the Father. So what's the point? If that's the case, I'm not showing up here next Sunday. Have a good time, y'all. Make yourselves holy. I will make myself holy at home on Sunday morning. Have you ever just not had you ever chill on a Sunday morning? COVID was great. I'm not going to lie. I was doing sermons on Thursdays or Fridays or Saturdays. And then it was like donuts and pajamas. Yes. Thank you, Jesus. They're like, let's open up. I was like, but why? Have you heard of the internet? You know, let's just not pay rent to anybody. I do this from my house. If we could really just make a rule and do it, we wouldn't need Jesus. But we can't control it. We can't manipulate it. We can't create it within ourselves. That's why Jesus says, follow me. Because we have to have an example to do like he does, because I can't just do it myself. Right? So Jesus is asking us to be like him. Carry the suffering, carry the trials, yeesh, carry the punishment, carry the disapproval. All the things that are coming when we choose love instead of everything else. And I wrote here your question to me. I saw a reel that was like, pastors, can you stop asking rhetorical questions of the congregation that you already know the answer to? And I was like, dang, we do that. But it's a really good, it's an easy way to segue, you know? So it's like, but Rafer, how does choosing love bring more suffering and trials and punishment and disapproval? Right? Because that's how we think, well, if I did what Jesus wanted me to do, then it should go well. Yeah, Jesus only did what the Father wanted, and he ended up on a cross, suffocating in blood. So, it's not that bad. It's not. But we've been there where we're having a calm conversation with somebody who does not want to be calm. Everybody been in that situation? You're trying to speak calmly. Jenny and I are both talking about each other right now when we raise our hands, you know? It's been both times, you know? Marriage. Church and marriage, here you are. But having a conversation and you're the calm one. You don't want to fight. You don't want to go back and forth. You want to have a simple conversation. And the person is like, no, no. Ah. And you're like, but this is an example. She's not that loud. She's not that loud. But we've all been there, right? I just want to do this. They are not agreeing with you because you are rooted in love. It might even make them more angry. What should be suffering are the things that I want, how I expect situations to go, what I think I deserve, or what I think you deserve. These are the things that I am denying as I take what others say about me, or as others do to me because I chose love. I chose love, they didn't choose love, but it is still up to me to deny me coming out on top. This is what Jesus meant when he said he came to bring a sword, not peace. Because people don't like change. People want to fight. People want to disagree. People want to win the argument. This is why he came to bring, this is what he means when he says, I came to bring a sword, not peace. Because if somebody is used to stepping all over you because you're the doormat and you finally get some boundaries and say, no, I'm not going to answer your calls when you talk to me like that. What are they? Oh, well, you. Sorry, I'm not. And they get more mad because I set up boundaries to love myself better. The Father don't treat me that way, and I'm not going to be treated that way. I'm not. I understand. I got to love you, but I'm going to love you from over here. Jesus didn't say nothing about no cell phone and texting. He didn't say nothing about that. He said, have goodwill and friendly and helpful thoughts. Call me when you need some water. I will bring you some water. But if you just calling me to cuss me out, we good. I can love you from over here. And people do not like when we choose love. That's crazy, right? Because it doesn't add up. But look at this. Jesus says, deny yourself, pick up suffering and punishment, and follow him. But not just to follow him, accompany him. Be with him in the same way. You know what I love to think about? And I know it may be crazy. I love to think about Jesus actively walking down the road with his cross. People yelling, cussing at him, screaming, spitting on him, getting hit in the face. And he's like, yeah, I've been there. Yeah, I know. I know what it feels like to have people mad at you and you did nothing but love them. I know what it feels like to give something that you didn't expect to get anything back and it still hurt because they didn't give it back. I know what it feels like. I have walked through the situation. I know that it is uncomfortable. I know that it hurts. I know what the person is going to say. I know it is going to feel like you're losing. I know that. Follow me because I know how to handle it. I know it feels like you are losing. Follow me. I am here with you in the middle of it. Come with me. He knows how to get through anything that is coming your way because human beings treated him in every way that you have been treated. It may not be the same specific actions, but it is the same feeling. What makes us think that Jesus' feelings wasn't hurt when people are punching him? You think he just took a whip to the back 39 times and was just like, Jesus or Lord, this is great. Father, I love it. No. He was probably like, this hurts. This hurts. If they could just see. And I know this is the only way, but yeesh. If they could just see. Jesus knew Peter was going to deny him. You don't think it hurts Jesus to say, hey, man, you're going to deny me? After all we've been through, you know what? Yeah, it's cool. You're going to be the rock that I set the church on. I get it. It hurts, but I get it. So all the things that we choose, that I have to take on everything for everybody I know. I got to carry everything for everybody. It's stressing me out. I got to just I got to pile it on. I got to prove my worth as a man. I got to make sure everybody knows that I got my stuff together. I got to make sure I'm seen and validated. I got to make sure my opinion is heard. I got to make sure that I get what I pay for. I got to make sure that I get my way. He knows that's how you feel. He knows that. He knows that that is how you feel. And that's why he says to follow him. Look at what he says. He says, whoever saves his life will lose it. But whoever loses his life for my sake will find it. This is such a backwards thing. On the surface, it doesn't make sense on the surface. But look at this. What happens when you are trying to save your own life? You're anxious, you're angry, your breath picks up, you can't breathe, your mind is just racing all the time. Think about the last fight you got into. Think about the last time you said you were gonna do something and you didn't do it, and just think about that. You are actively losing your own life trying to save it. I got to do this, and then I got to do this, and then, but then they're going to think that, okay, I don't know. Well, I am actively not attached to the Father. I am living from a lack of love, which is sin. And so because I am not connected to the Father, I have no life in me. It's just misery and destruction and death. We set that whole thing up. The wages of sin is death, but then people are like, yeah, I'm not a murderer. So then why is your life so miserable? Because you're not actively connected to the Father. You are not actively being loved by him. If I can be loved by him and love myself like he loves me, I can give so much love to everybody else. And when I do, when I choose to lose what I think should happen or the expectation that I think the way things should be, that's when I'm at peace. Think about those moments. Okay, yeah. Okay, Lord, I can do that. All of a sudden, I can breathe again. My heart rate goes down. It's quiet in my mind. Y'all know what I'm talking about? That's the feeling that I'm chasing all the time. Because if it can happen, if Jesus can do that one time, then bro, like, give me the goods. I want to constantly lose my life so I can find it in Jesus. It is not easy. It's not. That's good. This is not a rule. It's an opportunity to find life as the Father intended. It's another chance to choose love in its purest, life-giving form. Tuesday, Jenny and I get into it. Tuesday night, we talk. Tuesday night? I don't know. Y'all know how it is. We don't know what day it was. We just know it happened. Tuesday night, we talk it round and round, you know. Well, then let's go to bed. Fine, whatever. 2 days, we living, doing. And Thursday morning, I go to do this sermon. Because I'm actively fighting living from a lack of love. I don't want to do that. That's not the person I want to be. And I got to make a choice consciously to live like the Father intends. But Jesus, Lord, okay, yeah, I get that, Rafer. But what are you? Okay, you know what? Let's just do the notes on the sermon. Just look up the word deny real quick. Oh, okay. Let's look up the word cross real quick, Rafer. Oh, invite, expose myself to disapproval. I got to have a real conversation now. And Jenny will tell you, that was Thursday. I got my sermon done. I didn't say nothing to her about it till Friday morning. It was a whole day. Because I was like, Jesus, he said, yeah, follow me. I've been through this. I know you're going to feel like you're losing this. So let me help you unpack what's actually happening with you in your emotions so you can present this to her so that she sees who you really are and where you're actually trying to go. And Jenny will tell you, every time I have these conversations, my words are so slow and deliberate because, not for her sake, because I know I got to stand up here on Sunday and talk about denying how I think something should go. Every time we get into it, I be praying, Jesus, don't let it happen on Friday because this got to be fixed before Sunday. I can't get up there. My dad was like, just do it. Just be mad. I was like, he's like, I do it all the time. I was like, what? Who are you? He's like, people always say, you preach really good on the days I'm mad, man. It's like, Black church, different story. Can't do that here. Black church, they like, yeah, he was mad. Like, nah, not me. But I do. I'm like, Jesus, I more than fixing us, I gotta fix me and my heart posture. You gotta show me how to navigate this. You gotta show me how to come back to what you intended for me. Because if I feel like I'm losing with her, that means I feel like I'm missing something with me and the Father. I'm missing something with me and him if all of a sudden, well, if I say this, then she won. She won the whole thing. What thing? Is there a trophy of arguments? Just a cabinet, I guess? It has been confirmed. There is a trophy of a chest of argument trophies. Once again, ladies said that. That's why guys are like, yeah, I didn't know it was an argument trophy case. I don't be winning them, man. I don't be winning them. That's funny. That's funny. Jeremiah, stop looking at Courtney. Don't. But I got to change something in me. And that's what the invitation is. So, as we go into the holy place, write the things down that need to be denied. That makes sense? We know the moments. We know how the moments make us feel. Write down the things that need to be denied, and not because we're going to share them in a circle and pray over them. No, go talk to Jesus about it. Jesus, I really need your help. Write down the things that you are trying to save. Because the things that you are trying to save are the things that keep you dying. Lord, every time this situation comes up, this happens. I don't know why. Please help me. Because I know when this happens, I have a really hard time showing your love that you give me. I have a really hard time, and I need to do this better because I really want people to know how you treat me. It's not a thing of let me write down a list of my sins. No, Jesus, like I really want to do this. And I promise you, he will. Remember, last week, lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. Lead us not into temptation. Keep me from the things that I am not spiritually mature enough to overcome on my own. Pull me, drag me away from evil that causes evil to others. That's what I pray when I pray that. So when I write down the things that I need to deny and the things that I'm trying to save, these are the things that I am trying to not be led into. Lord, I am trying to hold on to my validation as a man in this situation, and that's a lot for trash. Like, how did the trash lead to who I am as a grown man? We should probably unpack this then, Jesus. Help me with the things that I am not spiritually mature enough to handle on my own. Help me. And every time that I pray this, help me, change me. Because at the end of the day, the only thing it's going to produce is more love for the Father, for me, and for everybody I come in contact with. That all makes sense? So taking up your cross is not, that's not the hope. It's not on take up your cross, deny yourself and follow. No. It's follow me, because the more you fight to keep your life, the more you're going to lose it. And I don't want you to lose it. But if you lose the things that you think are saving you, I promise you, you are going to have a wealth of love and goodness and peace and joy, more than you could ever imagine. That is the process of sanctification. So let's go in the holy place, spend some time with Jesus. I'm going to leave this up on the board. And spend some time with Jesus. Write the things down. Let's go into the holy place.